I make 500 shillings every week from this small section of my farm. When most people hear about farming, they immediately think about acres of land, huge greenhouses, or investing hundreds of thousands of shillings before they can make any meaningful income. But over the last few months, this small spinach patch has reminded me that farming doesn't always have to start big. Sometimes, all it takes is the most of the little space you already have. Whether it's a kitchen garden behind your house, a small backyard, a few growing sacks, or even a sunny corner on your balcony, you can begin much smaller than most people imagine. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying you are going to become rich from a tiny spinach garden. That's not what this video is about. This is about creating an honest, realistic source of extra income. Because 500 shillings every week may not sound like much, but that's 2,000 shillings every month. For some people, that's enough to pay electricity. For others, it could cover internet bundles, buy household groceries, or simply reduce the amount of money they have to take out of their salary every month. Small, consistent income has a way of adding up over time, and that's exactly why I decided to dedicate this small section of my farm to spinach. There are several reasons why spinach is popular among small-scale farmers. It establishes well, produces broad leaves that are attractive to buyers, and most importantly, you don't harvest the whole plant at once. Instead, you pick the mature leaves while allowing the younger leaves in the center to continue growing. With proper management, one planting can continue producing harvestable leaves for several weeks, giving you multiple harvests instead of just one. And that's one of the biggest reasons spinach works for most people with limited space. You're not waiting for months before you see the results. Under good growing conditions, Swiss chard is usually ready for its harvest in the first 6 to 8 weeks, after which you can harvest regularly as new leaves develop. Another reason I like spinach is that it's already part of many Kenyan households. Walk into a local market, grocery shop, a hotel, a school kitchen, or your neighborhood mama mboga, and chances are you'll find spinach being sold every single day. That doesn't mean selling is automatic. Like any farming business, you still need healthy crops, consistent quality, and reliable customers. But it's a crop with steady everyday demand, and that's exactly what many small-scale farmers should be looking for. If you are only working with a small piece of land, choosing the right crop matters just as much as how you grow it, and in my opinion, spinach deserves to be on that list. Now that you know why I chose spinach, let's talk about the numbers. Because at the end of the day, farming is a business. If the numbers don't make sense, it doesn't matter how beautiful your garden looks. For this example, we are working with a simple kitchen garden made of 10 beds, each measuring, let's say, 1 meter by 2 meters. That gives a total of growing area of 20 square meters. The variety I'm growing is Fordhook Giant Swiss Chard. One thing I like about this variety is that it doesn't demand huge investment to get started. A 10-gram packet of certified Fordhook Giant Swiss Chard seed is enough for a garden this size when planted at the recommended spacing, and depending on the supplier, it typically costs between 100 to 150 shillings. Before planting, the soil should be prepared and enriched with organic manure. Spinach perform best in fertile, well-drained soil that retain moisture without becoming waterlogged. If you already have compost or well-decomposed farmyard manure at home, your starting costs are even much lower. For spacing, I prefer planting at about 30 centimeters between rows and 30 centimeters between plants. This spacing gives every plant enough room to grow broad, healthy leaves while still making good use of the available space. On a 20 square meter garden, that works around 200 to 220 healthy spinach plants, depending on your exact layout. After planting, the next few weeks are about consistency. Regular watering, keeping weeds under control, removing unhealthy leaves, and making sure pests don't go out of hand. Swiss chard isn't a crop you plant today and harvest next week. Under normal Kenyan growing condition, you expect your first harvest in about 6 to 8 weeks. But here's where spinach becomes interesting. Unlike crops that are harvested once and finished, Swiss chard allows you to harvest the mature outer leaves while leaving the growing point untouched. That means the same plants keep producing new leaves. Instead of harvesting everything at once, you can harvest a portion every week. That's what creates steady flow of produce instead of one large harvest followed by nothing. Now let's talk about the income. The exact amount you will earn will always depend on your management, your location, the season, and most importantly, your market. Some weeks, demand is higher. Some weeks, prices are lower. That's simply the reality of farming. For my setup, this small spinach section consistently brings me about 500 shillings every week. through continuous harvesting and selling. I don't see it as a fortune. I see it as dependable extra income from a space that would otherwise sit idle. And that's an important mindset shift. Many people are searching for that one crop that will change their lives overnight, but farming rarely works that way. Sometimes, the better strategy is building several income streams from the same farm. Maybe spinach gives you 500 this week, another vegetable gives you something else next week. Before long, those small amounts begin to work together. That's how many profitable farms are built. Not from one big giant harvest, but from consistent cash flow throughout the year. Of course, making those 500 shillings every week isn't automatic. It depends on growing healthy plants and, just as importantly, having people ready to buy them. And that's exactly what we are going to talk about next. If you are finding this video valuable so far, don't forget to subscribe. I share practical farming experiences, real numbers, and honest lessons to help you make the most of whatever space you have. Growing spinach is only half the job. The other half is arguably the most important half, selling it. One mistake I see many new farmers make is planting first and looking for the market later. That's backwards. Before your spinach is ready for the market, you should already have an idea of who will buy it. The good thing about spinach is that you don't need to produce tons before you can start selling. In fact, if you are harvesting from a small kitchen garden like this one, your first customer are probably much closer than you think. Start with your neighbors. Talk to your local mama mboga. Visit nearby grocery shops, small restaurants, hotels, schools, and food kiosks. Also buy fresh vegetables regularly. Because your harvest is relatively small, it's often easier to find buyers than it is for someone harvesting from several acres. Another advantage of producing on a small scale is quality control. You can harvest in the morning while the leaves are still fresh, wash them if necessary, remove any damaged leaves, deliver them the same day. Fresh, clean spinach always stands a better chance of attracting repeat customers. And repeat customers are what you should be aiming for. It is much easier to sell to somebody who already trusts the quality of your produce than to look for a new buyer every week. Now, let's talk about the few mistakes that can easily reduce your profits. The first is harvesting the entire plant. With Swiss chard, that's usually unnecessary. If you remove the mature outer leaves and leave the center growing, the plant continues producing new leaves, allowing you to harvest again and again over several weeks. The second mistake is poor watering. Spinach needs consistent moisture, especially during dry weather. Too little water slows growth, while too much can encourage disease and root problems. Finding that balance is important if you want healthy, marketable leaves. Another common mistake is neglecting weeds. Weeds compete with spinach for water, nutrients, and sunlight. A clean garden doesn't just look better, it also helps the crops perform better. And then there's timing. Waiting too long before harvesting can result in older, tougher leaves that buyers do not prefer. Regular harvesting encourages fresh growth and keeps the quality high. As your confidence grows, you can also think about increasing your profit without necessarily increasing your land. For example, instead of planting all 10 beds on the same day, you can stagger your planting every 1 or 2 weeks. That way, your harvest is spread out over time, giving you more consistent supply instead of having everything ready at once. Consistency is something buyers appreciate. If they know you'll have fresh spinach every week, they'll be more likely to keep buying from you. You can also use your income from the first harvest to expand gradually. Maybe you add a few more beds, maybe you introduce another leafy green, or maybe you invest in simple irrigation that makes production more reliable during the dry season. The important thing is to let your farm grow with the profit it generates, instead of rushing to expand before the business is ready. At this point, you might be thinking, 500 shillings a week still doesn't sound like much, and that's a fair thought, but here's something worth remembering. Every successful farm starts somewhere. Very few people begin with acres of land and thousands of customers. Most start with one small plot, one crop, and one customer at a time. The difference is that they start. So, if this small spinach garden can generate consistent income, what happens when you combine it with another vegetable on the same farm? That's exactly what we look into in the final section, where I'll share the biggest lessons this spinach patch has taught me and why I believe small-scale farming still has a bright future. Is growing spinach going to make you a millionaire? Probably not, and that's not why I grow it. This small section of spinach isn't the only crop on my farm. It's simply one part of the bigger picture, but what I love about it is the lessons it keeps teaching me over and over again. Never underestimate a small piece of land. When people look at a garden like this, they often see vegetables. I see opportunity. I see a piece of land that's contributing to my household. I see crop that's putting fresh food on the table while generating little extra income every week. And perhaps, most importantly, I see proof that you don't need to wait until you have a perfect farm to begin. One of the biggest mistakes we make is believing that we have to wait to start big. We tell ourselves we'll begin farming when we buy more land, when we save enough money, when we have better equipment, when we have more experience. But farming, like many other things in life, is learned by doing. You start with what you have, you learn what works, you make mistakes, you improve, then you grow. That's exactly how this spinach patch started. It wasn't designed to make me rich overnight. It was designed to make productive use of a small section of my farm. And today, that small decision brings me in about 500 shillings every week. To some people, that's just 500 shillings. To someone else, that's money for vegetables, electricity, school snacks, transport, or savings at the end of the month. Never look down on an honest income simply because it starts small. If there's one thing I'd like to take away from this video, it's this. Don't focus on how small your land is. Focus on how well you can use it. Whether you have a backyard, a kitchen garden, a few growing sacks, or a small balcony, there is always a way to start growing something. Your first harvest may not change your life, but it can change your mindset. And sometimes, that's where every successful farming journey begins. Over the past few months, many of you have been asking me how to start a small vegetable garden from scratch. So I decided to put everything into a simple beginner guide. If you'd like a copy, it's available for just $2. Send me a DM on Telegram and I'll show you how to get it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel reach more people who are interested in farming. If you are new here, consider subscribing because this channel is all about practical agriculture, real farming experiences, honest lessons, and showing what's possible, whether you are farming on acres of land or just a small corner of your backyard. And I'd love to hear from you guys. How much space do you have available for farming? Is it a backyard, a kitchen garden, a few sacks, or maybe even a balcony? Let me know in the comment section below. I read every single one and your comment might even inspire a future video. Until next time, take care, keep growing, I'll see you in the next one.